myself. And I was like, no, I'm 3 years older than that. And he's like, oh, you're getting up. I mean,
I don't know. I thought you were 21 still, Angie. So
thank you, Moreland.
I
Yes.
thought you were, well, that's close. Yeah, that's close.
Yes.
I've been considering lying to people about my age and telling people that I'm 25. So
There we go. We're all just 25.
I'm like, maybe
Except
people
Bobby,
would
who's
believe
actually-
me.
I would. I would
believe
totally
you.
believe you were
I do.
25.
Totally 25.
I would believe you were like 22.
Coats my goat.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Angie, I am recording. Go crazy.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I can't start with
I mean, you can. It's
I
not
mean, you can. I
terrible.
do it all the
No,
time.
because then we have to edit it, and it is hours of going in and editing out us.
Yeah, true.
I would
Um,
be really nervous.
And then
if
I
it didn't
hate
say,
you all at the end of it. And myself. I'm the worst. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Free Rotation. We are here with Nichole Goodnight, one of my personal favorite voice artists, most known for her work she's done on the No Sleep podcast.
That's right. Creepy time. I'm so excited. I love
All the creepy.
I gotta tell you, some of the no sleep stories, I have to be careful what I listen to because some of them I'll listen to at work and they'll be like, I'll listen to it and I'll get so into it, and then somebody will like knock on my door at work and I'll scream. It's very scary.
Well, and you also work at a haunted courthouse.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that part. Let's not talk about that part.
So, Nichole, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm bad at this part. I'm Nichole. I'm from Rochester. I actually I work in access security, which is super cool, kind of.
That actually sounds really cool.
Doesn't it though? It sounds real, and it's not bad. It's actually a fairly new job to me because I moved back here from Florida like 6 months ago. But I started on No Sleep in 2014, and since then I've been able to do a whole bunch of different podcasts, which is awesome. Usually they're spooky, which is great because I love spooky stuff. And cats.
Yes, we can see the kitty cats.
You pretty much that's like thematically what our podcast is now, is spooky stuff and cats. It used to be
I love
a
it.
podcast, but that's what it is.
I've got 4 cats. Got so many cats.
Oh,
Do you still have your hedgehog?
I do. Do you want to see her?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about
She's
cats.
like right here. So.
Oh,
Sweet.
ooh.
Katamari.
And her name's Katamari.
Na 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 na. She is very scared.
Oh,
look at
so
it.
wholesome.
Come on.
Oh, gosh.
We'll see if she unscares herself throughout the day.
Aw.
I'll put her in my lap. She's good right now. It's okay.
Well, what got you into wanting to do voice acting? It's such an interesting genre of acting, in my opinion, because it really, you have to really go out there for it. Because I mean, you can have a face and people can see your face, but when you're having to like vocally make a statement or make something scary or freaky or anything like that, you know what I mean? It's just it's like something in your intonation. There are a lot of people I know that are just so monotonous. I couldn't imagine, doing that. So what got you into doing that?
It's funny because I had never really heard of podcasts before in 2014. And my friend was drawing online. So I think there was some website where you could stream your art online.
Mm-hmm.
And she was drawing, and in the background was spooky stories. And I've always loved horror. So growing up, my dad had Dean Koontz books that I would spirit away off of the shelf and read. And I just always loved the genre. So I'm watching her draw and listening to these very terrifying stories and decided to look up what they were. It was the No Sleep podcast. At the time, they had a button at the top that said volunteer. And I looked at that button and I said, there's no way I'd ever be able to get into that. And I closed the webpage. I guess it was, I was like, nope. Months later, I was like, big regret. I was like, you know what? What is the worst that can happen, right? Like I email them, they ignore me, or I email them and they say, sorry, we hate you. And so I emailed them and I was like, hey, I loved the podcast. I started listening to it. I would really love to help out if possible. And David sent me an email back. He's like, hey, can you read the script? So I did. And that I guess 6 years later, here we are.
That's so
I guess they didn't hate me.
Did you have how did you I'm so curious about this because I know a lot of people that started early on with voice acting and stuff like that. When you first started doing, did you just have a random mic? Did you just have just somewhere on your phone? What did you do to start out?
I had a Blue Yeti. Or no, I didn't have a Blue Yeti at the time. I had a Blue Snowball. I don't even remember why I had 2014, I wasn't really doing many interesting things in my life on the internet. So I don't know why I probably saw it and was like, this is a really cool looking microphone and got it for, I don't know, Ventrilo. So I had that going for me at least. I don't know why I had that, but I had that. So yeah, don't bite me. The first thing was recorded on a Blue Snowball.
That's so cool. I feel like that's everybody's first mic. We had a Blue Yeti and I had a Blue Snowball too, but I think it's just
the Yeti's great. The Snowball's great. I use the Yeti. I've got one right here for gaming and computers and stuff.
That's so awesome.
Yes,
okay, I'm still stuck on Becky saying everybody has a face and people can see your face.
There it is.
Look at it.
You know what I'm trying to say. Oh, hey.
I want to get its belly.
She's being a little less scared, but a little still scared.
Is it hard to take care of hedgehogs? We've had cats, so we were always scared to get a hedgehog.
So the initial startup's pretty intense because they need a big cage, because they like to move. They need a big wheel though. It can't be like one of the little store-bought wheels. So I have a special wheel that has no grates or anything, because then they can get their feet stuck. And they have to be kept at between 71 and 70. I don't know the exact ones, but around 72 to 76-ish at all times, or else they'll try to hibernate, and African pygmy hedgehogs cannot come out of hibernation. So that was terrifying. My lamp actually stopped working a long time ago, and I replaced it, and then it stopped working again. But my house is kept at a temperature that I feel safe with not replacing it quite yet. I would, obviously, and when we get to the winter, I'm absolutely going to replace it. But right now, my house is always at 72, so she's fine. But other than that, and the absolute paranoia that it's going to get too cold and your hedgehog's going to hibernate, they're really not hard to take care of. They eat cat food.
They do?
Yeah. Herc food is just a mix of different good quality brands of cat foods, and she loves it.
That's so cute.
It's adorable.
I've always wanted smaller pets like that, but I've always been scared, especially having cats, how they would react. And we have a big dog too, and she thinks everything is either a kitty or a chew toy. So
the cats love Katamari, and by that I mean they'll go up to her and they'll nose her and realize that she's sharp, and they don't learn their lesson.
She's pointier than they are, so
they keep doing it. But
that would be Riesling. Definitely.
Yeah, Riesling would do that. Our dog, she would probably come up and I'll figure it out sooner or later. 8 years later.
Never figures it out. Never. Mm-hmm. Katamari, don't bite me, please. They don't really bite. They what's this? And
they just taste a little.
It's just still me. Please stop.
Just nibble a little bit.
Just a little nibble.
Little nibbles.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about how, when you started with No Sleep, some of the stories that your early stories and some of maybe your favorite stories that you've told?
Well, first let's tell everyone the No Sleep podcast, guys. If you're not familiar, which you should be, I talk about it a lot. It's a multi-award-winning anthology series of original horror stories, which features a cast of talented actors like Nichole Goodnight with rich atmospheric music.
It was legit one of the first podcasts I ever listened to, because I love spooky stuff.
It was for me too, and I thought it was wonderful, especially getting in way back when and hearing how David has grown the podcast and all of you guys, and how it's just developed this culture now. Yeah. And I remember I do remember your first episode, and I also remember times where David had to add the trigger warning because someone was super upset. Hello, it's a horror podcast. And he was like, I didn't mean to trigger someone, but I feel I need to add that these are stories to frighten and terrify, which has become a tagline now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how the podcast has changed.
Well, and it's also the, No Sleep, if anybody knows what No Sleep is, that was the original subreddit. One of the original like subreddits that you could go on Reddit. And it was always, people would wonder if it was real or not. I think it's sort of evolved into short stories that may or may not be real, quote unquote, but they're not really.
We used to play Magic and talk about No Sleep stories with Bernardo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was the Forest Ranger ones with the staircases.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nichole, like Bobby mentioned earlier, your first episode was season 4, episode 9.
The Diner.
The Diner.
That one was really fun, and I to this day will always remember that one. We actually, back in the day, we didn't have someone to find our stories for us, and we would scour Reddit for our own stories. That one, however, I think David found for me and was like, I think this would be a good match for you. I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, great, my first story. Cool, this is great. Really loved it. It's early stories like that, too, stick out a lot. Trying to remember what season it was, but there was one which is called Why We Don't Talk to the Dead. And that has always been one of my all-time favorites. And it's always rough, right? Because people will say, when we did the tours, what's your favorite story that you've ever narrated? I don't remember what I ate yesterday. So I always feel really bad because I know that there's stories that I'm just not remembering, and it's not anything against them. It's just I am a forgetful person. But Why We Don't Talk to the Dead is always something that I immediately remember as that was a really cool one because I think it was one of the first ones where I got to be just very scared and the whole story was really cool. Puzzler's Box was another one that was older but really good. I think I actually found that one, and it was initially written for a man, but we edited just a couple little things to make it so that I could narrate it. And it's just, I loved those. I absolutely, any story where I can be terrified, really, or cry, love it.
There are some of the stories on No Sleep, there's always going to be stories that you're like, oh, that was pretty good. And then you get some that you just never forget hearing. I think the one is the tale from the Irish pub, that really long, it was a few years
Seaside
ago.
British Pub.
British Pub.
That is
story,
by
oh yes, that was such a good one.
CM Scandreth. She is fantastic.
that was,
and didn't that have 2 follow-ups to it as well?
It's had at least one.
At least one, I think. I was about to say, there's just some of those stories that y'all do. I just, every time I think about them, I'm like, I wish I could either write this well or tell a story that well.
Our authors are so nice. I've had the pleasure of meeting multiple of them on tours. They would come to the shows and I'd get to meet them. Everyone is so nice. It's amazing. I love it.
That's so good.
Nice and a little twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you really all twisted when you're all, together? It's like, it's the mind meld of everybody, I think.
We're like really boring, normal. That was kind of the cool thing about doing tours. I've worked with these people, and that was in 2017. So at that point, I'd worked with these people for 3 years and had never really met any of them. And then we all got to meet. I was like, oh, you're real. You're a real person. Yeah. This is amazing. We have a lot of fun. I think that's how we all kind of feel meeting you, because we hear your voice in a podcast and we're like, oh, okay, that's her. And then we actually see you're like, oh, she's super nice. Like, oh, these actual people. I'm a real person, or just a really good android. We have yet to figure out. Oh, and the way everything is going right now, it's very possible we're all bots. I would really prefer that at this point. True.
That's a conspiracy theory for another day.
It is.
Oh.
And we'll do it.
I was about to ask you, how is it recording when you're like on the road, actually? Because y'all do a lot of tours throughout the year. And we were at Angie. I will tell you, Angie got mad at me because I was actually going to buy tickets to No Sleep for her birthday one year. And then when I went to buy them, they were sold out. I thought I was going to get broken up with. I thought that was the end. This is how it ends.
It's like, you better tweet David Cummings right now. Fix this.
But on tour, how is it? Is it, recording and being on tour? Is it stressful? Is it fun? I'm just curious. I have to know.
It's very stressful. But it's so rewarding and it's so fun. So we don't usually have to record too much while on tour. Sometimes we'll do those little like cut-ins, like, hey, Tourcast doing an intro to the story, and those are really fun. To do those, we actually, David will have his microphone and a Zoom, and usually he'll set it up, and wherever we are, be it an Airbnb or a hotel, he'll usually make some sort of like pillow fort to dampen the sound, and like so there's just this pillow fort hole with a microphone inside of it, and we'll go in and we'll one by one record our lives. I actually on my phone have pictures from last time of Jessica talking into the pillow fort microphone. So we'll do that, and it's really, really fun. One year, I can't remember if it was, I think it was 2017, Brandon got to record a line, and we've made fun of him ever since, lovingly, of course. He got to say, "I thonked a man," but he was so nervous about it. It was really cute, and it's just, to this day, sometimes I'll bring up, "I thonked a man." The tour itself it's very stressful because basically you wake up in the morning, you get in the van, you drive to a location, you maybe have time to unload your luggage. Then usually by then it's time to go to the venue already because you have to be there a couple hours in advance. You set up everything, run through sound check, which is in and of itself a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You find food maybe before the show. And then you do the show, which usually is about like an hour and a half, sometimes a little longer. And then, we always stay after and meet and greet and talk to everyone. So by the time everything's said and done, you've really not had a chance to relax or unwind at all, which is fine. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the whole entire world. And when that's over, you go back to your B&B, you shower, sleep, wake up, and typically started over the next day. There wasn't many times where we got to stay in a city for more than, a day or two. No. So it was usually a constant drive. In the van, though, I played so much Binding of Isaac.
Oh, God.
So much. You don't even know how much, it's so much Binding of Isaac.
I can't imagine just, I think that really video games, and we'll talk about this a little bit, is like, thank God for video games, because sometimes if you didn't have it, what else are you going to be able to do if you're just going to be sitting in a car for
15-hour car ride, 15 hours sometimes.
I would get so car sick. Like, all I'm thinking of is how car sick I would be by the end of it.
I very luckily don't, because I personally have a extreme phobia of vomiting. So it's extreme. So if I got car sick, that would just be a whole thing. Some of the others on tour actually do, but they would like take Dramamine or something beforehand, and never really had to deal with that. But that was a huge fear of mine actually going into it. I was like, what if someone gets sick? Don't like that.
Or my thought process, it's funny because y'all think car sick. My first thing is like the 10-year-old and 12-year-old reactions of like, he's not touching me, stop touching me, don't touch me.
That absolutely happened with Jessica and Brandon, which is why we call them siblings. They're adorable and I love them.
Have you had a favorite city you visited, even if it's only been for a day, that you've seen and you're just like, oh man, I have to come back here? There's
actually been a number of cities that I never would have visited before that I just, wow, this is amazing. But, as absolutely, I hate to be super cliche and say LA, but I loved LA. I loved LA. I guess I guess it's just so different from I grew up in Maryland. So it's very different from that. Salt Lake City was absolutely gorgeous. Arizona, we've been to a couple cities there, and one of them, when we were driving through the northern side, there was a little bit of snow, which I didn't realize could happen there. Just there's so many wonderful cities that I've had the pleasure of going to. It wasn't San Francisco, but it was a city outside of San Francisco, and there was like a little lake bay thing that we got to go to one day, and that was absolutely gorgeous. Just there's a lot of really pretty places that we saw that I never really would have gotten to see otherwise. So it was really, really, really cool. Just I love it. I love it. There's so many pretty things and so many cool things we get to see and new foods to try. And you meet so many nice people. I love it. I miss it.
I was about to say, I bet the food is really interesting to try, especially regionally, because we're all from the South. So everything is fried chicken and mashed potatoes for us. But me and Angie actually were planning before the whole pandemic happened, going to Los Angeles for a concert. And I was like, I'm so excited to try In-N-Out.
Because Nightwish is going
was
to
so good. Nightwish.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
Becky's a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan.
My saddest story about Nightwish was I went to go see Sonata Arctica, and Nightwish was supposed to be opening for them, and the lead singer got sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
We did not get to see Nightwish, which was heartbreaking to me because I love Nightwish.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for being there with me. I think I know it was probably around 2015-ish, 2016-ish that happened.
Yeah, when her throat went out.
Yeah, Annette. I
Mhm.
think it was Annette when she was.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had I think she had just been in Atlanta that week before, and then that happened, and then she was gone. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is so much.
Yeah, I just, and I was so excited too because I love Sonata Arctica. I mean, getting to see them wasn't bad, but I was like, Nightwish is opening.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Nightwish is the opener, so yeah, I feel you. I feel you so bad.
And like the one in LA was Nightwish. What?
Birthday Massacre and Apocalyptica.
Yeah.
That's
Birthday
so
Massacre.
cool.
Yeah, we actually canceled our Dragon Con plans to go to Los Angeles, and now it looks like nothing
That's
is
sad.
happening. Yeah, it really sucks.
Nothing.
I kind of blame ourselves for that. It's like we said no Dragon Con, and Dragon Con was
We
like,
jinxed
watch
it.
what happens.
We probably forgot to Stacey Denning something, and then there it goes.
They're like,
Yep.
we're about to give you the true con crud.
Aw.
Oh,
How we
man.
end it. It's so. But-
North Korea.
Nichole, you also did the Wicked Library. Is that?
Yeah, I've done The Wicked Library, Creepy. Gosh, Byron Chronicles. Byron Chronicles is actually pretty cool because they did a spin-off where I'm also in it, but I get to play an adorable, kind of naive elven girl, and she's super fun. I did Pixie, which is one of my favorite things I've ever done. I don't know why I'm shaking at Margaret, you guys.
That's fine.
It's one of my favorites. I get
You're
you.
gonna throw it
You
to the
reinforced
camera.
it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have
Pixie.
anything to shake, but I'll wag a finger.
Loved Pixie. Oh, I loved Pixie.
And that's the name of the podcast was Pixie?
It's Pixie the Devil's Daughter, and it's a very
What?
Little Mermaid-esque tale about the devil's daughter who just wants to go to the outside world and doesn't understand why everything has to be fire. She tries to draw, and it like immediately goes up in flames, and she's upset about it. Her little she has a bat companion named Wayne, and Wayne is voiced by
Nice.
Owen McEwen, and he is phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. But it was a Rick Cost production, and I love Pixie.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Well, I'm gonna check that out
Yeah.
immediately because
Right.
I love it so much.
I love
And
any
it's 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too
it
bad.
needs more.
I
I'm already
know.
like on board with more.
I messaged Rick sometimes. I'm like, so hey, how you doing?
Do you need anything? How you do?
You want
Are you on
to do
Uber
Pixie again?
Tell me what's going on right now. The podcasts for me are kind of running dry at this point because there's just so much time to listen to podcasts. So anything new is great. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Pixie's
I listened to
amazing.
the No Sleep podcast and creepy stories to tell in the dark, and I think that's what it's called. Spooky stories.
There's creepy. There's another one that I'm not remembering right now. Chilling Tales to tell.
Chilling
or
Tales. That's it. Because he was actually on the No Sleep with you guys, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I've never actually listened to Chilling Tales. But like Creepy Pod, I've listened to John Grills, and that's a really fun one too. And he's so nice. He brought us cookies one year on tour. His wife made them. They were very good cookies. Yeah, everyone that I've met through doing this has been absolutely amazing. It's wild. It's wild.
I think it's such a nice thing to see, especially in like a community like voice acting and podcasting, where everybody's kind of trying to help everybody get further on with their career. It's very different than a lot of like I'm an attorney, so you have a very different outset from people trying to just be like working together to help and do all this stuff. It's just nice when podcasters are just like, oh, let me help you, let me do this, let me do that. I just love it.
So true too, because even my recording microphone in the other room isn't really mine. I'm borrowing it from a coworker on No Sleep, and I have been for years. And he's been so nice about it because microphones. are expensive.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I had a Rode shotgun mic, which was great, but I needed a condenser mic, and he's been super cool about it. Like, just hang on to it until you can afford one, which will be never. I'm gonna try, clearly, because I feel so bad, but like just things like that, like just here's a microphone to borrow. It's
Yeah.
just so incredibly kind, and everyone truly does want to see everyone else succeed and grow and get better. And anytime you have a question, anyone is so happy to answer and help you out with what settings do I need for this, what do I want to do for this, is there a macro I can use with editing. And it's been amazing. Everyone is just great.
Well,
that's disappointing. No, I'm
Oh.
kidding.
listen,
I mean, everyone is
I
terrifying.
feel the money.
Excellent.
I feel the money pain, because I remember when we first started out, we were huddling around like a Yeti microphone. Angie actually uses it to do streaming.
Ooh.
Yeah, back in the day, and we were all like,
Yeah.
how do we get better? And then you start realizing it's very expensive to get better.
It's very expensive. I have my there's not empty cans right there. My arm is broken, so I have it held up by tape.
Nice.
See, that's
Hippie tape.
classic. I like that.
Mine always
Yeah.
breaks, so Becky did it like this. It
Aw.
still breaks. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I just broke it. So
The little thing that holds it to the thing, it got a little woo-loo on it. It's great.
Aw.
Got a little.
wholesome.
This isn't even like no sleep merchandise, but I've got this around it.
Oh,
Really
that's
cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I love these little, I call them stupid. I don't think they're stupid, clearly, because I have too many of them. I love these little stupid wristbands, and they're called Zox bands. And they had one way before I started collecting that was called No Sleep. So, of course, every time I see it on the Zox marketplace,
everything's
I
fine.
have to buy one.
Yep.
So I
That's
have
right.
probably 10 of these stupid no sleep bands at some point. My goal was to collect enough of them to give out to the team, and I'm still trying to this day.
it's like
But there was-
it's like a shiny Pokemon hunt.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
only 500 of them made though, so it's like kind of hard to get them.
Kinda
But
hard
I
to find
have got a good. I probably have about 10 by now, so I'm getting there, trying my best. And this one I kind of looks like I ruined a little bit, but
Nah, that's fine.
okay.
I'm watching
be
Angie,
okay.
sorry, do something to her microphone that I'm not
I
sure.
need everybody to look away and not notice me.
When she
Ignore
said
me.
she broke it, she actually broke it again.
Are you
I'm not
Angie?
kidding. Okay, everybody just calm down. Everything's fine. Just look away. Nothing to see here.
Mine fell off during a live stream, and that's when I had to tape it
no.
on. I was like, yikes.
That's no fun.
It always happens at the worst possible time. Like I had knocked my mic one time playing Valorant, like in my head, and it kind of tumbled
Valorant.
off. I was like, "Oh, you guys could sit there for a minute.
I'm
I'll
so
be right back."
bad at Valorant. I'm so bad.
No, it's okay. We all are.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ratchet
The
game.
absolute worst.
It's okay. We're all terrible at it.
Well, that's what speaking of video games, you do stream on Twitch.
I do. I both speedrun and lately I've been playing Alien Isolation.
That game's so good. I love that
It's
game.
so good.
It's so good.
I actually streamed some last night, part 6 of my stream, and I'm still not done with the game because I'm garbage. But I have screamed multiple times on stream because of this game.
It's
That's
so
my favorite
cool.
pastime, making Angie scream
Yep.
So
In
while she's on
context,
stream.
scaring
While
me.
she's on stream.
And it's funny that I'm playing it because a lot of people that came to my stream knew me as the girl who speedruns The Lion King for
Mhm.
Super Nintendo.
I gotta
And then-
give you, oh my god, I gotta give you mad props for Lion King. That game is like the
Oh.
Dark Souls of our childhood.
It's very hard.
Yeah. It
I've
is.
said some words to that game. I've
Oh, I
said
bet.
some words. I had to end up like tailoring my language because, of course, when you speedrun, so I did it for Frame Fatales, and that run went horrible. But you can't really say any bad words, so I just bowl of soup. I just kept calling Simba a bowl of soup, but
I love it.
big bowl of soup.
That's just a bowl of soup.
Which I wish I could take credit for, but I can't. I was playing, I want to say League with friends, and one of the guys that I would play with a lot of times like, okay, everyone, my daughters are in their room, and I have my speakers on, so be mindful. And someone else I was playing with was like, this person's being a big bowl of soup. was like,
That's
really?
probably
Okay, cool. I
better.
love it. I'm taking it.
You know what that is? It's actually perfect considering like it just gives you like at least the verbiage to say something that you want to say. Angie just goes straight into cussing. It's never, we've had that conversation several times about streaming. Like you have to be careful what you say. 3 minutes later, you GD mim
I do the same thing though. And that's part of why I don't stream a lot of League of
Don't play.
You
I
can go through
mad.
5 different personalities in like a minute. You can have like all aspects of emotional baggage just happen.
Or you,
League.
or you can just be me and drunk playing the whole time, so you're just miserable.
But yeah, mainly the Lion King. I guess now it's mainly Alien until I finish that maybe one day.
God bless you. 'Cause I don't think I could do that.
I keep getting stuck and murdered and scream, and just so many scares. After that, I think I'm going to be doing Soma, which is another game I don't know anything.
Soma's so
my
good.
God.
No.
Amazing.
This is a good
It's so
thing.
good.
I didn't know anything about Alien, and I still don't know anything about him. But I haven't like watched playthroughs or anything. So everything that's happening when I stream Alien, I legitimately have no idea what's happening.
It's really easy to get lost in that game.
It's so easy to get lost in the game. And then it's also easy to completely avoid 2 packs of humans and go into another room and say, oh, look, a computer. I can actually read stuff and read it. And then another human sees you, so you kill them. And you apologize profusely, by the way, when you murder people in this game. And then out of nowhere, a working Joe comes and chokes you out. So that's cool. That's totally not what happened last night at the end of my stream. And I was so excited. I was like, I got them. I got the humans. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then I turn and it's like, you shouldn't be here. And he just kills me. And I'm like,
I can give you mad props because anything I can read scary stories. I can watch scary movies. I cannot play scary video games.
I can't either very well.
I played
She screenplaying Spook.
Yeah, Spooky Jump Scare Mansion, and I literally cried. I was like,
I downloaded that. I haven't played it yet. My first scary game, I think, was Amnesia. And, I Frapsed, if anyone remembers Frapsed back in the day, 2009, 2008. I Frapsed the whole playthrough, and a couple of them ended up on YouTube, and I was just awful at it. Like I touched the fire at the one point, the person I was playing with, because they were also playing it, but differently. And they're like, why'd you touch the fire in the room? And I'm like, I don't know. It was there. I wanted to touch it. I just,
hey, it'd be fine. No problems.
Do you say you're going to play Soma next?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, I've had to turn that game off quickly.
I'm excited. If I ever beat Alien, that is. I think I'm on chapter 16 or 15 out of 18, but I've heard very terrifying things about 17. And when I say that, I mean, no one's ruined anything, but they've said, oh, you're going to love chapter 17. And I'm like, does that really mean I'm going to love it? And they're like, I'm going to love watching you play chapter 17.
There we go.
I tell you, my favorite thing to do is go on Steam and find scary games, mostly Asian horror games, and send them to Angie. I'm like, just turn your stream on and see what happens. That's what I did with DokiDoki Literature Club. She had no idea what it was. And I was like, you have to play this, please.
The same person who told me that they were going to love watching me play parts of Alien told me to get DokiDoki years ago. And he said, I want you to download DokiDoki, and this is going to be hard. Don't look at the Steam tags.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, okay.
Okay. And he's like, don't look up anything about the game. I was like,
so you were really unprepared like I was for the...
I was incredibly unprepared.
Oh, yeah.
For the joys that is DokiDoki Literature Club. If anyone wants to play it, don't look anything up about it. It's a great fun game.
The music is super wholesome, and there's nothing creepy about it at all once you finish the game.
Nothing creepy at all.
Yeah. I was literally in shock at the one thing, though. I didn't
I know what you're talking about, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
You spend out 3 hours doing one thing thinking, what am I doing? And then suddenly you're like, oh, that's what I'm doing.
Whoops. I've made a big mistake.
Yeah. And then you're at down the rabbit hole of it. Yeah, I actually set the entire game up for Angie. I'm like, I'm putting this on your screen. Just hit start. Don't look at anything. Just go. And I left the room and I was like, good luck. See you later. Have a good day. I'll see you.
It's good, Kay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you,
That's
bye.
exactly what it was.
And then
And I was texting her. I'm like, this is so boring. This is like build a boyfriend. And then she's like, oh, you'll be fine.
It's okay.
Playing.
Everything will be
Keep playing.
everything will be great.
It'll
Now,
work out well.
I also see that you hosted Games Done Quick.
did.
How was that?
That was so fun. It was my first time auditioning, and I actually got in, which was amazing because it's pretty rough competition. I didn't get in the next time I tried, and I cried. But it's so great because you get to read all these donations from people that are sending in money to help these amazing causes. So the one that I did was Doctors Without Borders, and to see the amount of people donating to this cause, and because it's related to games too, and just to see the positive impact that games can have on communities is amazing. And I got a lot of super fun donations. I got to host the Awful Block, and so I got to host
I love the
Shrek.
Awful Block.
And Shrek the video game is a gem. But of course there was a lot of like Hey Now You're an All-Star references. And at one point the crowd was singing, and Smash Mouth actually retweeted it. And they're like, what is happening? Someone put it on Twitter. I got to host Katamari, and people would send in the lyrics to the theme song. So I looked at the donation. I was like, well, I can't very well just say na 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 na. So I sang it, and it was amazing. And then the next time someone did it too, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get the crowd in on it. So I asked the crowd for help. So we all sang the Katamari song, and it was just so fun. And just everyone, and that's another place where everyone was so nice. And I had never speed ran a game before Summer Games Done Quick 2019, and I never thought I would either. And after meeting everyone who was so incredibly kind, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to speedrun a game. But at the time, it wasn't Lion King. It was Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. It's the one that's the new Bloodstained that was kind of akin to Symphony of the Night. And I was like, I'm going to speedrun
very
this.
different than Lion King.
Yeah.
Right?
And so one of the people that actually, I think he's got world record in it, helped me out a lot with trying to figure out the game and trying to unlock the mode that people speedrun, because I was garbage when I first started, and I was still garbage. So I switched gears and said, you know what? I played The Lion King a lot as a kid. So I looked it up, and there was a kind of a guide on, these are the different tips and tricks you can do. Good luck. And I started speedrunning The Lion King, and I just keep trying my best, but that game is mean. It can ruin your life 7 minutes into this 13-minute run, and just everything goes to hell.
I watched your run, and I was very impressed with all the clips that you could do, and I'm like, even if I played that now, I probably wouldn't be able to do all of those clips.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
Some of the clips aren't too bad. Like, they look a lot cooler than they really are. Some of them are super easy, but some of them are very hard and make my life sad and ruin runs. But I still try.
Well,
I finally got under 13 minutes, and I just kind of stopped. Like, I haven't stopped, but I was like, I need to alien isolation, and eventually I'll pick up.
Refresh yourself. I got to give you mad props that I just remember being a kid watching my dad try to beat the certain levels just so I could get past it. I was like, I hate this game. Why is video games awful? And it's just
I never got past the second level because at one point you can soft lock the game because there's a pit between two giraffes that you can't get out of.
Well, you can get out of anything except for the soft lock, and the soft lock is it was where the ostrich is. Sometimes the game would soft lock and you would get on the ostrich, but you wouldn't really be on the ostrich, and you can fall off the ostrich, and then you just can't get out of that pit. I've actually never had that happen to me, but a lot of people that speedrun the game has that happen at some point in the run. So fingers crossed I never soft lock at the giraffes and the ostrich, but that is fully possible. But that level in and of itself is awful because it was added in so that you couldn't beat the game in one rental period. Because of course this was back when Blockbuster was huge. So that game or that level was meant to completely screw with you and to make your life miserable. And it did. Because as a kid, the 2 up arrows, I had no idea what that meant. It's like, well, I jump. I guess I jump again. Eventually, I figured out it was a double jump, but it took me way too long.
Oh,
Yeah, that
definitely.
I got it. Yeah, mad props. I mean, I had people raging at me in a Twitch stream because I couldn't get past one part of Ori and the Blind Forest, and I wasn't even speed running. I was just playing the game normally, and I was like, I don't understand how these speedrunners do it.
Funny. It was funny. What was
I've been
being
reading
said.
those. They're great.
Yeah, the speedrunners, when I watch, like, I have a friend who speedruns Ori and the Blind Forest, and I was
Aw.
watching him do it, and I was like, oh, that's so much easier than the 2 hours it took me just to get past that one part.
You're
I
being
will say the
generous,
speed
Becky.
run of Lion King is probably easier than a casual playthrough of the Lion King because you avoid a lot of enemies. Ori and the Blind Forest looks amazing. I have it. I just haven't played it yet, but I will one day.
Just be prepared to cry if you play it. It's just very sweet. It's a sweet
I'm very
game.
excited. I played Celeste recently, which was way more emotional than I ever thought a game would be.
Oh yeah, Celeste is so good. I
Such
love
a good game.
Celeste.
I said some bad words to that game, though. So many bad words.
Well, we really do appreciate you coming on and talking to us about.
Yeah, sorry for side railing literally everything you've asked.
No, it's fine.
You
it
did
is
it.
fun.
Fine.
Listen, that's our podcast.
That's
Yes.
literally our podcast.
Normally, it's like, here's a topic. We're literally 3 steps that way. It's cool. And it's nice just like talking and just getting to know you as a person instead of being like, so tell us about your birthday. When were you born? When's your social security number? How did you decide to do that? What color?
Not what is it, but when is your social
When
security
is
When
number?
is it?
When is it?
That's the
I
best part.
speak
It's
for a
yesterday.
living.
I know.
forget that part.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to screw up. I'm just going to talk about my cats. All
That's
4 of
fine
them.
too.
That
Look,
would have
that's
been
fine
a great
too.
episode.
Do you know
Totally
my
fine,
cats' names? Can I tell you my cats?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got 4. I've got Oliver, which is an orange cat because I'm very not creative. Though, funny fact, when I saw him, I didn't think Oliver because of Oliver, the Disney movie. I was like, he looks like an Oliver. I have Persephone, which is my all-white cat. She's an absolute brat. She's garbage. She's trash. I love her so much. But I do call her Trash Cat almost exclusively. And then my babies, they just turned 2.
Oh,
Egg
wow.
and Toast.
That's
That's
adorable.
so cute.
Egg and Toast's mom name was Tiffany. And the Kitten Academy, it's a 24/7 foster stream. They do classes because they're an academy. And Tiffany, breakfast at Tiffany's. So all the cats were breakfast themed. So I got Egg and Toast. Someone adopted Tiffany and Bear Claw. Someone adopted
Nice.
Chai and Donut. And someone else adopted Muffin and Waffle. And
Oh,
I just love it. And everyone kept their names. Like, no one changed them. So all of the Breakfast Club have their Breakfast Club names. So Egg is just this tiny little black cat, and she's so small that she like doesn't even set off the scale when she steps on it. She's like 8 pounds.
Oh,
Oh my
And
God.
Toast is a floofy orange cat, and he's like 10.5 pounds. So, and I know this because I have a scale that is, Fitbit. So it goes to the little Fitbit cloud. And I can pull up my app at any given time and see about 10 to 15 every few days of just 10.5, 10.5, 10.5. I'm like, Toast, I can see you're doing this. I can see you're weighing yourself. So I took him to the vet. I was like, he's 10.5 pounds. And they're like, I was like, let me show
Trust
you.
me.
Just
She's
trust. Just
10.5.
trust.
It's 10.5.
Oh, cats are always welcome. We are huge cat people. It maybe to like the detriment of our friendships, but cats are. I don't even know where my cats went. Honestly,
Cat
they're
curtains. Cat
Yeah.
necklace. I can probably get someone to bring in cats. I mean, I just got cats.
you are okay. This is the right company.
Welcome to your people.
Yeah.
I mean, Angie's gonna have to take some medication before, but
Oh yeah,
I'm
Angie's
allergic.
completely allergic to cats,
Aw.
but we only have cats and a dog. That's it. Like, and she's more.
I
Yeah.
have 3 cats.
yeah.
It's a good
My
number
sister
of
has
cats.
Yeah.
It's a good
Oh,
number.
I love them. And my sister has goats and chickens, and I love those too.
Goats.
Yes. I didn't know how awesome goats were until she got them. And I'm like, these things are smart, awesome, and naughty. Like, they're cats, large cats, with the
Yeah.
ability to jump on your back at any point in time.
So cute.
And the chickens are actually really nice and friendly. And
Chickens are great.
yeah, I can't eat chicken anymore. Like, now that
They're
I know
so
how
cute.
wonderful chickens are, I can't eat them.
Oh,
Yesterday,
I like it. Nice.
No, Moreland, we can't eat chicken.
I had chicken last night. I'm sorry, and I'm.
You
not-
can eat turkey. Turkeys are mean.
Turkeys are jerks.
Yeah.
Turkeys are mean.
Turkeys will roam the streets without a care in the world.
And
They'll dare you to hit them, and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
want to
like-
hit you, and they're like, but we're here. Like,
Yeah, and even if you do hit them and they die, they left marks and they're happy about it. Turkeys are like,
haha, I've showed you.
bitch. Sorry. I mean,
messed up your car.
Where's your windshield, bitch? Huh?
exactly.
Yep.
They're
Took
mean.
it out. Well, I just have one question, which is, what game has made you rage the most?
I
League
knew
of
you were going to
Legends.
ask that.
Hands
have to
down,
know.
League of Legends. Hands
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
down, League of Legends.
Becky's always like, "You're so toxic." I'm like, "Really?
I don't
I
care.
don't notice it."
Okay, I don't care about you being toxic to other people, including Moreland, but me, you do not be toxic to.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
put this in
rude.
perspective, Nicole, for you.
No.
No, yes.
I'm
The
here
other
for
night
this. Yeah,
we were playing Aram.
No.
I
I was
love
playing
ARAM.
Katarina, and she
Thank
was
you.
playing Karma, right? So I was like, I need the last hit because when I go in, I need to kill so I can heal.
Mhm.
You know, it's Katarina. She would sit there. Would she shield me? No. Would she W and stun them? No. Would she hit Q and steal all 3 kills? Yes.
I had shielded you already. It was
I was
on
like, she's gonna
cooldown.
karma Q again, and I wasn't toxic. I was just like, well, there we go. Well, there it is.
Whatever.
I love ARAM. I don't get to play enough ARAM.
Well, you know
I'm
what?
trying
We
to
should
climb
play.
and ranked, and we should play. I will play some ARAM.
Yeah, play.
Yeah,
You
oh,
are
yeah,
totally
love it.
down with us. We are Aram only. We tried to do
Do I
ranked.
have any of? I think I have.
Me.
I have you.
Yeah, I changed my name though to Hissing Chickens. So
Nice.
That's so cute. Feel
Well-
free, anyone in here, to add me. I'm.
Oh,
in
listen,
the shocking turn of events. she's a cat.
I'm loading my league right now to add you. It's gonna be.
I am loading my league right now to add you. So-
I don't have League on my laptop yet.
Boo, Bobby.
Moreland has a
I just
squirrel that
bought
runs his
this.
internet, so he
Mhm.
can't. No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you so much for coming. Now, do you have any socials you want to like shout out? That's what these podcast people do apparently, is shout out their socials. That's a thing.
I mean, I'm mainly usually only on Twitter, which is Goodnight, and I post cats sometimes. That's if you want to see cats, I post on Instagram too, but I'm not really. I don't know. I'm old, so like Instagram is like way above my head. But I do that sometimes too. But yeah, Twitter, cats, my Twitch stream, which is Nichole Goodnight. If you want to see me scream and be terrified and potentially cry when I get murdered by a xenomorph when
And
I
we
didn't
do,
even know he
and
was
we do.
there.
that's
Yeah.
all we really want in the world, is just to watch other people scream and cry at our like entertainment.
Yesterday, I thought I was safe because you're at a part where there's no xenomorphs, but you're also in an alien nest, so I should have figured.
Yep.
But I was like, okay, face huggers can deal with, light them on fire. I've got this. And I was like, okay, I have to get to this area. So my dumbass ran, which you never do in Alien, because I thought there were no aliens. And I didn't even see it coming. My screen started to fade, and then I looked down, and then like the thing was through my stomach, and then the hand, I was like, guess there's aliens. So I was very careful the next time, right? And I saw him and I lit him on fire, and I'm like, I'm good, I've got him. And then I went to save, and then little did I know there are multiple aliens at this point in the game, and so another one came and just murdered me dead, and I had no idea. I screamed out loud.
You are totally. We are totally like you are definitely our people, because we actually. I mean, to be
Big
fair,
fan.
like I hate to say this. It sounds so bad, but I love watching people scream at games. Like I don't know why. Like
It's a lot.
even to the point where I like put Angie's donation numbers at like sounds as a scream to make her scream after she screamed, because
Did
it's
I know
funny.
this? No. Did Moreland know? Yes. Did he then donate like 2 cents? It just screamed, and I thought, I'm like, I'm too old for this. I'm going to have a heart attack right here. This is it.
I put probably $50 or so
Yes,
in
thank
that
you. I
night.
appreciate
It
your
was
money.
great. It was.
I need
it was
to. You
great.
stream on Twitch?
We do.
Yes.
We
Both
stream under
on
the free
Twitch.
rotation.
Oh, do I have that followed? Is it just twitch.tv/
The free rotation,
the
yeah.
free rotation?
Yeah. We stream to very few people, but hey, most of it is us yelling at each other about League, yelling at each other
Or
in Valorant, or yelling
Love
at each
it.
other in team fight tactics, which doesn't make any sense either. So
I love team fight tactics, but boy, has it gotten confusing since day one.
Thank you.
It was so great when there weren't like a billion champions, and now it's like, oh,
yeah, and like this
it's
meta
a
that
lot.
everyone knows but you, and you're like,
Right?
what? Yeah, I don't get it anymore.
that's why I use Blitz app. Please sponsor us. Blitz app, thank you.
I want to play more. I want nothing more than to play ARAMs now. Oh, I love it.
Well, we are the group. I mean, we literally only play ARAM because that's the only thing that we can handle.
Well, in ARAM, you don't have to really care about your life either, because a lot of times you're playing characters that you have no idea about.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people will still be toxic to you if you suck at them, which I guess is for our next conversation.
Right.
And the thing about playing Summoner's Rift, especially if you're having a bad game or someone on your team is, like, I don't get toxic really in Summoner's Rift because everybody has a bad game. But there's always the one guy, the first death, if God forbid it's on your side, FF15. This team
FF15.
sucks. I can't stand that. Like, that just gets me. And then in the back of your head, you're like, well, this is 20 LP. I'm losing for sure.
Yeah,
And
and
then
so
you'll
if the other, oh sorry,
No, you go ahead.
if the other team tells you to just forfeit, I just
Oh
fight.
my God.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, no, now I'm gonna make you waste your time.
that's right. I'm going to try my best to lose at 30 minutes instead of, 15.
I'm just
Right?
filled with spite and rage at League of Legends because I try to play ranked and oh
Yeah.
jeez.
I quit. We got to gold, and I was like, that's good enough. I don't need to be anymore.
All I want to do is get to gold, but silver is a raging hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm in silver. I get you. When I played my first, and honestly, I've played League since 2016. I played my first ranked game like 3 months ago, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. This is not my people.
It's very, 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 very toxic.
And she's a mid laner, and it's usually the mid laner who dies first from a jungle gank. We know it's going to happen. It's
know.
fine, but there's people who don't understand that someone's always going to win and someone's always going to lose. It's how you lose that determines what kind of player you are.
I will.
Someone's
remind
always
you
going to
of
be
this.
the first blood. Someone
Yes,
has to be the
always.
first
Yeah.
blood. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that player's awful. I play
Yeah.
bot, so I'm like usually safe a little bit for the first like 5
You're
minutes.
ADC, right?
I'm ADC, sometimes
Mhm.
support, because I do love supporting, but I love playing Caitlyn and getting my kills stolen because my headshot takes so long to get to the person. Love getting that. Love being support Caitlyn, apparently, because my support will take all my kills.
Mhm.
As a support, I will not do that to you. As a support, Becky will do that to you.
As
you
a
play-
support,
that's-
I will do that to other people.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get it.
As a support, I play top lane now. So there's your answer.
As
Just put
an
that out there.
ADC, I will let you steal my kills because I'm probably just that bad.
As an ADC, Moreland, it's because you're dead. There's no other way to handle it.
Can relate to that.
Yeah.
Orland's like Jinx, and he's just running under a turret, and I'm like, one turret shot, you're done. And he's just like, I'm gonna get this kill.
I've done that. I'm like, I thought I was going towards my base, but I guess I'm just really bad at directions.
Oh, I did that once. I thought I had outplayed the jungler. I was playing Zillion, and I was going, and it was in my promos, my last one. I'm like, I'm gonna get platinum finally, and I run into a turret. It wasn't mine. And those question mark pings where every single person in the game question mark pings you, and you're
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm quitting.
Like, I'm so sorry. I'm a big idiot right now.
/ mute all done.
I question mark pinged myself. And I was like, who put this turret here? This is bullshit. I didn't see
The
this
best
in
way to
city
handle
planning.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you mean we're not the red team?
wait. Why is this turret hitting me? It's my turn. Oh wait, never mind. I
Like,
got.
oh shoot.
See, Aram's good because there's only one direction you can go, so you can't really get confused.
And how many times do you send Lux's ultimate the wrong way?
I don't need you to. This is a good time to end this episode and move on to like doing our next episode, guys. I am so glad you guys could tune in to. Yeah, Lux's ult is confusing, especially when I
Well-
don't aim it the right way.
Look, I can't tell you how many times I've activated Jen's ultimate and then deactivated it and just.
Oh, I do
lost
that
it.
still.
So
Every time I'm like, Angie, which button do I do this with? She's like, R. I'm like, oh, it's dead. Never mind.
I've
like,
done that
R.
with Misfortune.
Oh.
Oh,
Just
You
started the
accidentally
ultimate
wa-
and then moved, and I'm like,
And you pretend. No, that's where you just pretend you can't. I wasn't gonna kill anybody anyway.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they were right in front of you. No,
We were
You
clearing
had the
the
whole
way.
team right in front of you. You were going to wreck them all. No,
there was a Braum shield. It was pointless. He's not even in this game.
It was there anyways.
Yasuo threw up that wind wall, man. I couldn't
Like
get
I
past it.
couldn't do it.
There's no Yasuo.
I can
What?
see.
It's in my heart.
Shh, go to sleep, Becky. Go to sleep. Shh.
Sorry, my bad.
Speaking of horror games, so League recently had this promo where Volibear would jump up onto the murder bridge, and he was enormous, and he would knock everyone into the air. When you're not expecting that,
That's
Yeah.
spooky.
What?
yeah.
Great.
So I'm just gonna warn you
Wow.
about that. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
They're like, the bear is here or something like
Horrifying.
that. And then they're like, he jumps out of nowhere, and I'm like, that's a large bear. I gotta go.
There's like lightning and thunder, and suddenly claws and probably frogs coming out.
Oh, I'd probably cry.
Yeah.
Angie would cry.
I
frog.
ended up having to take a moment. I had to go take whoever I was playing, go change my pants and come back. It was terrifying.
Go sit in a bush and hope nobody kills
Yeah.
you.
Pray. Cross your fingers.
All right.
And your
Well,
legs.
I
beat yourself.
Hey,
Hey, Becky.
Becky.
yeah.
where
Hi.
can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook at the Free Rotation Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the Free Rotation. We're also on
What
YouTube.
about Spotify?
Oh my God.
Still part
YouTube.
of
And,
Weeby Geeks.
How do we feel about SoundCloud?
we do have one thing on SoundCloud. Whatever.
How dare you?
Twitch and YouTube. The Free Rotation. It's been a while since I've done this. And
This is
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, whatever. Just go listen to the old episodes. I'll tell you where they are. I don't remember anymore. It's been a minute.
Be sure
now,
to check out
hey.
Nichole on all of hers. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nicole.
Hey,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Where can they find you?
Twitter and our Goodnight. That's about it. No Sleep
Okay, there we go.
Podcast. Spooky.
Yeah, check out
Yes. Check out the No Sleep podcast. I can assure you that you won't be disappointed.
I assure you, you will not sleep.
Yeah. Tales.
Oh,
Frightened
Frightened
God,
and
a pun.
terrified.
Great.
Bobby, be quiet. Okay.
TheFreeRotation.